Welcome back to the Park Kids to Park Dads podcast. Here for episode 16. I'm Adam, joined here by my brother Mitch,
Hey, everyone.
and take us a little different stretch. I don't know that we've done this one exactly before, but we're going to run through kind of what our perfect day is in a park. So for this one, we're going to do Epcot. So everything from rope drop, show up at noon, or where to have breakfast, what rides to go on, in what order, where to grab snacks, all that kind of good stuff. Last time we talked about my trip that I just recently went on, and I did the vast majority of the speaking. So we are going to let Mitch kick us off to start this episode. Mitch, why don't you walk us through? Why don't you take us from the beginning until, let's call it midday, what that looks like in Epcot for you?
Alrighty. Well, thanks for the intro and a welcome refresh. A little bit of talking on my side this episode.
Hey,
For me, depending on where I'm staying, I always like to try to take the monorail in, um, as opposed to the buses. Most of the time you go through the park, which is kind of a cool outlook to start your day off. Um, but walking into Epcot, usually for me it's always through the front because Spaceship Earth is my number one priority, especially first thing in the morning, and usually the last thing I do before I leave. So I hit Spaceship Earth right away, and from there I'm always heading towards Living with the Land, Nemo, Figment, that area over there. Um, so on that route, I'm going to hit Starbucks, grab a coffee, and not really much, maybe a chocolate croissant, but not really much for as far as breakfast goes in Epcot. Usually my day in Epcot is mostly broken up between a lot of snacks, between all the countries, and depending on if it's food and wine, because that's usually when I'm mostly down there in that time frame. So not really a lot of, big meals per se, more so a lot of snacking and trying different things throughout the day. So from a Starbucks, I'm gonna hit Finding Nemo, Nemo and Friends. Um, I know you're a big aquarium guy, but I usually skip right through that part. Uh, if the next show for Turtle Talk is available in the next 5-10 minutes, I usually hop in there if it's not a big long line. And then I'm going to land. I'm gonna hit Soarin' or Living the Land, depending on which one. Usually I'll hit Soarin' first because the line usually tends to be a little bit longer for that. And Living the Land is a constant moving, carousel of boats. So I will hit there. So I do miss. They used to have the Circle of Life show in that building. So I do miss catching that show video. But so I guess kind of fast paced, but getting out of there. Uh, there's a little snack cart right outside the land. So as soon as you go turn to the right, it's right there. I believe that's where you get your Mickey pretzel. If not, that's where I get my first beer of the day. Usually by this time it's 10 o'clock ish, 11 o'clock. I'll grab a pretzel and some cheese and a beer, and then head over to Figment. I'll hang out a little bit, um, and I head over to Figment. Figment's usually always a walk on. So that's a pretty quick in and out. And then depending on if I have fast passes or lightning lanes, should say, I'm gonna head over to Guardians and Test Track area. So I try to capitalize on the front of the park early on in the day, and then obviously the countries don't open until 11 o'clock. But and heading in that direction, you always start in Mexico. If you start in Canada, you're wrong. Um, so starting in Mexico, for me, it's going to be drinking around the world, real time, and grabbing food along the way. So I like to go in the shops, do the three caballeros, grab a margarita on the way in. Hopefully, you finish it before your time in line is up.
that's a quick line.
It's a quick drink.
Right.
I don't
Fair.
do the frozen one, so
Oh, yeah, there you go. Okay.
that saves me a lot of time. Um, and depending on how the line of the tequila bar down there is usually very, very long. Um, I had some of the best tequila I've ever had in my life. It was when I was on my 21st birthday. My buddy Henry um, bought bought around for me and my friends that came in from college, and it was the best tequila in the world 3 years in a row. and it was like $47 a shot. Pretty insane. Comes in a little sipping glass as opposed to like a shot. You're supposed to sip it. Uh, yeah, I don't sip tequila. So that was a one shooter and down the hatch. But so yeah, I work my way around the countries from there. Going around, stop and grab at least one drink in every country most of the time. I do like to pace myself and go through the stores and the shops uh, and take my time with the food and drink. So Italy usually is the longest, or the UK for me are the longest two areas. Um, just because I like the atmosphere of Italy, the music, the performers they have out there, and they have a couple different restaurants. And sometimes, the Pizza Windows I don't believe is open anymore. At least it wasn't there last time we were there. Um, but I do used to like getting a slice of pizza from there as a little snack, and getting a shot of limoncello from the front stand there. I know you're not a fan of that either.
I can't do that one.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear your side because my is all based around drinking and yours is not
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah,
So,
mine's not. Yeah, it's not.
but then Norway, I do grab a beer there at the cart that's right out front. Um, I do really like their shop that they have there. They have some really good clothing lines inside there. I have it's like a lighter hoodie slash long sleeve dry fit shirt. It was like $80. But I definitely get my money's worth out of it. It's probably one of the most comfortable shirts I own. I really like it. I think it's H&H or something like that is the brand.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's oh man, something in Heli. I've seen it at like the outdoor stores up here at like the outlet mall. There was those two back-to-back out stores, Regatta and then whatever. They had it in one of those. I can't
Um,
remember.
yeah, being a DVC, you get that discount and take advantage of it for sure. Um, so then I usually roll around to America. I don't think to this day I've ever had a fried dough. Um, for me, I'm not whatever. I can get it at Carnival, anytime, anywhere. But I do grab a nice Sam Adams from there, and sometimes a turkey leg, and maybe catch a few minutes of the concerts that's going on. Rarely do I sit down and watch a concert unless it's somebody that like really want to see and I got nothing, nowhere to be. I'm going to plan to be there till 8, 9 o'clock at night, to watch the fireworks and whatnot in the show. Uh, Japan, they have a really good plum sake, and I grab an Ichiban from there. So I kind of double fist in Japan because the plum sake is like literally like this big. But the noodle house up top, it's got really, really good food. If you ever go through the back steps and way up top past, gosh, is it Benihana's? It used to be Shogun, I think, at one point. Now it's
I
Benihana's.
don't. There's something down there, but is that where we were in the rain when we were
Yes.
there with Jake and
Yeah,
Uncle Brent?
that's the up stop. Yeah, the
Yeah.
little quick service place up there. Highly recommend it. Check it out. They have really good sushi as well as noodles and stuff. So, I think I skipped China. China is all about shopping for me. Going through the back stores there. Kind of same thing as I've never done the show. I don't think in China, but I've walked through like their museum and stuff. Is really cool.
Mhm.
And then you got Morocco, which I used to really like the stores there. They closed all that up and turned it into a DVC thing for a while, and that went away. So I don't know what their plan is for Morocco, but it's kind of dissipated into almost nothing. They have a little quick service place up front, but that's really about it. France, all about the Grey Goose slushies. I get the orange one, or Grand Marnier slushy. I get the orange one; it's really, really good. Hit Ratatouille. I've done Frozen. Like I said, I wasn't a big fan of it prior. Just hop back to Norway just because I was talking about Ratatouille. But I've done Frozen. I think that they've done a really good job with the revamp and the reno on it, or refurb, if you will. And so I'm interested to check that out again. I really do miss the Norway ride, Maelstrom. I liked that ride a lot. Nostalgia more so than anything. And then, Ratatouille. I did that for the first time, believe it or not, when we were there in September of last year with you guys. So I believe it was shortened, though. I believe there was like a whole section that was turned off when we went through because
Oh, really?
it was very, very quick.
I didn't
And
go
we,
on.
we got
I was out.
off. We
What
got
a
off
day that was.
that was
What a 1 hour
it.
stretch.
Yeah, that was a very meltdown on multiple different parties and different time frames, and yeah, so
I was fine. I was chilling.
uh,
But yeah,
that's good. Good, yeah. So I digress. But yeah, no, I think part of that ride was closed off with they always had issues with that, and that's kind of why they went back to the 2D version as opposed to having a 3D. So I mean, we had a lightning lane for it, which all worked out. We were in and out pretty quickly. Um, Chefs de France, great food there. Never had a bad meal. Creme brulee is really good. I've tried a few different options when we were there. They have some fish and um, that's actually I've had escargot there. So I can't complain about the food. And then the deli in the backside is really really good. The pastry and deli. We get it's like a ham and Swiss on a baguette. And then obviously you don't like ham. Uh, but their desserts are really really good. And I think they do the fried ice cream there. Like the
yeah, yeah.
yeah. So I've never had that, but I've seen a lot of videos on it of people trying it and looks really tasty. And then depending if my uncle Fran is in Epcot or
Is
not,
he there or not? Yeah.
I may have made some trips to the UK in between doing all this, going back and forth across the countries, and sitting there for a few hours. But I do enjoy usually end my day at the UK, doing a couple black and tans and harps, and usually get fish and chips. Canada is growing up 10 minutes from the border, hop, skip, and a jump, as some would say. Blue light is blue light. And that's all I really got to say about Canada. The Cellier Steakhouse, fantastic. Been there a few times. But yeah, and then I mosey on my way out the door and hit Spaceship Earth one more time. So I guess that's kind of a quick walk around of Epcot for me. Obviously, it takes a lot of hours to do that, and a lot of trash cans to snack on. But it is my favorite park. And obviously, judging by my shirt here, kind of why I wore it today to pay homage to my favorite pastime of Disney. Spent my 21st birthday and drinking around the world with my buddies from college in Epcot. So it was my favorite park by far.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff in there. And to be fair, the drinking portion 8, 10 years ago, probably I'd have been doing, I have done that with you. Just not more so much recently,
Yeah.
obviously.
Oh, I do want to give one
Um,
quick shout out, real quick. Sorry,
yeah,
the pavilion with the chicken wings. Over by Test Track. Gotta try their PB and
the one
J.
in
Yeah.
between the mouse, well, it's not called Mouse Gears anymore, but it was the big clothing store and then the countries is on
Yes.
the where the bathrooms are. You walk out, it's
Yeah.
they have the
Test
bird.
Track and yeah.
Yeah, the bird there now. The
But
peanut
yeah,
butter and jelly
from up.
wings.
Yeah. What's
Yeah.
his name? Uh, I can't
Yeah,
remember
well,
what it
they
is.
do the
Donald.
Epcot bird, the orange one. I can't think of his name
Oh yeah,
for
yeah,
whatever reason. But then they
yeah.
have that bird as well as part of the theming.
Teaming. Yep.
But yeah, we got the peanut butter and jelly wings and whatever the
There's
other
like a jalapeno something
style
was the other one. Yeah, those are
hamburger.
fantastic. Just ask my cousin Jake. He'll tell you all about it.
Well, you mentioned it's not part of mine thing here, obviously, but you mentioned uh the tequila spot. And last time when we went for the golf trip a couple years ago now, Jake got the habanero tequila.
No, oh
Was it
yeah,
you?
we bought. I did, and it was so hot. I couldn't drink
Yeah,
it. It was
yeah.
so. I mean, I think I drank it, but my mouth was on fire for like a good 45 minutes to an hour. It was rough. Like upset my stomach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember sitting in that same wings place with that. And you're right. It was you who had it, and Jake was doing
Yeah.
this, trying to
Not
stay upright in
not
his
making
seat.
sentences. Yeah, coherent
Yeah,
sentences. So-
yeah.
but I can say
So
I've never been disorderly while doing that, and you have a lot of people that are causing issues nowadays and taking it a little bit too far.
too
And
far. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I mean, you've been known to drop a few bad words in Epcot, but nothing too crazy. So we'll leave that there.
few f bombs here and there. Not a big deal. More
Oh,
so with the
bad word.
swan than anything else, right?
Yeah, fair, fair. To be honest, yeah, it was more the stretch out the back door of
Yeah.
uh the International
It's
Gateway.
not a Disney hotel. I can say what I want.
All right. Well, so I'll give mine. And remember, this is a perfect day, right? So it's, you may not be able to do these things at the times I'm thinking, but anyways, walk in, and the first thing I would do is go to Guardians. And the reason it's so early is because we've said this before. I'm not a big twist and turn and screens guy, so it won't make me sick, but it also doesn't make me feel amazing either, right?
Yeah.
So,
I when we were there last time, I couldn't remember if I went on the ride or not prior. And as soon as we got off that ride, I 100% remember going on that ride. I was like, yeah, I don't feel great. Am I getting that old where I can't do rides like that anymore? And, 30, 34 at the time. Jesus.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
So
my intro. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'll say that's why I have to do it before lunch, before, walking around and drinking and stuff. So
My intro to Guardian was we did rider switch. In Felicia took two of the girls, and then I went with I think Aubrey. So we were waiting by the because we had James who was not going on. So I was waiting by the exit, and we walked in the little shop. And as we're walking through the shop waiting, there's an elderly woman. They have the oxygen mask on her. She's like white as a sheet. And I'm like, sick. This is what we're getting into, but still went on it. So I would go there first, and then I'd make my way over to Starbucks, and they get my coffee for the morning. I typically don't eat anything. Um, I'll just have the coffee, right? And we'd walk around the Moanas. Have you been to the Moana
yep.
water? Yeah,
Yep.
Ways of Water, whatever it's called. That was pretty cool. I was surprised at how much they got in that small
Mm-hmm.
little
Yeah, it's a
section.
small little path. That's it.
Mhm.
And you feel like it's a lot bigger than it actually is.
Right. So as I'm drinking my coffee, moving through there, probably pop into the gift shop, the big
Mouse
the
gears.
big gift shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just as I'm killing my coffee, essentially, make our way back to Spaceship Earth, ride that. Then I'd go to probably Test Track and get like the fast rides, so to speak, out of the way for the morning. I like the new Test Track. Have you been on the
I'm
more
not
refurbished?
today. It was still closed when we were there in September.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. So uh, I didn't go on it this last trip because the one day we were there, it was shut down for whatever reason in the morning when we thought about rope dropping it. And then it was open later, but then it was a much longer wait. It was like in
Mm.
115 minutes or something dumb. But anyways, get on Test Track, and then I would hit that same stripe that you talked about, Living with the Seas, or excuse me, the
With
Living
land.
Seas with Nemo,
Oh yeah.
Living with the Land, Soren. Soren doesn't bother me whatsoever, which is cool. It used to be that we'd grab food down in the Land Pavilion at the quick service spot down there, but since they've made it a little bit smaller, the last two times I've been there, it's been festivals. So to your
Mm-hmm.
point, we haven't sat and eat there. But so I would skip that altogether and head over. I always do the Butterfly Conservatory. Don't know why. I'm like, hey, it's right there outside of the land.
You know how many
Um,
times I've done that?
0.
Do you know
Yeah.
how many times I knew that it was there? 0.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, the tent, it's right. They have the chains hanging so the butterflies don't fly out, the whole 9 yards. Yeah, it's where you're sitting to eat your pretzel after your the little cart. It's directly past the cart.
Oh. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah,
I'm
and
I'm
in
a one
between,
track mind for me after that point.
the pretzel is weird. It's between your pretzel stand and Figment. So I would ride Figment, and then I'd go over to the countries. Um, let's say, for instance, I was drinking. You know, who knows, whatever. But I would also go to Mexico. I'd ride the um,
Three
the Three
Caballeros.
Caballeros ride. I actually like I if I could, I would get lunch there at the San
Yeah, their restaurant's pretty decent.
yeah, the one that has like Machu Picchu in the back, and it's very dark, obviously, but I
Every
would
time, sorry, I think of Kramer every time I hear Machu Picchu. And he's eating a chip and he's like, Machu Picchu.
jeez, oh man.
Salsa. Yeah,
If
salsa.
Uncle Fran actually watches this, he doesn't, but
Yeah.
he'd love that reference. Um, so I'd eat lunch there. That's where I would have lunch. Um, make my way around. I do. I would probably skip the margaritas. I'm not a tequila person. Tequila's once a year thing for me. And I'm good with leaving it at that. I don't enjoy it. Um, I would grab, let's see, I'd grab a pretzel over in Germany and probably a beer. I like the beer over there. And they have a few different kinds depending on what station you go to, what cart. Uh, we go, let's see, what's after Germany directly?
Well, it was in Norway before Germany.
Norway's first. Okay, so that yeah, I haven't flopped in my head. So in Norway, I always get the caramel covered popcorn. We've talked about that ad nauseum, but I always get that. And if I'm feeling real frisky, I'll buy the Werther's with like maple or apple in them.
Yeah. The apple ones are good. You usually get
Yeah.
those around Halloween time.
In fact, caramel apple Werther's
Yep.
not a
I was,
sponsor of the podcast, not yet,
yeah.
but we have a deal and in the works. Um, so I stopped there.
Free shout outs. That's our deal.
Valuable time. There's gonna be 30 people to watch this. So anyways, I get that. Continue my way around. Uh, Depending on what the little huts are doing, I try to grab something in Germany, or I'll wait till Japan and get like a pot sticker or whatever they have going on over there. Um, I do the shopping in Japan. I like to go through that spot. It's the same stuff all the time. It's
Yeah, it doesn't change.
the Pokemon and Hello Kitty, and then it's into the more
Some
traditional.
samurai swords, and
Yeah, exactly. I still look at it all, even though I'm definitely not going to buy an oyster.
yeah,
Yeah, hey, shucks.
I've been buying a samurai sword to bring home with me since I was 10 years old. So I've never once brought one home.
So yeah, I check all that out, keep it moving through there. Um, I like hanging out in Italy. There's not as much to do there from a shopping standpoint. There's some cool stuff, but it's just, I mean, it's really if you're gonna go have dinner, I think that's probably the best spot. But it does have a great spot to go out um, and look at the lagoon, like
Yeah,
that
the
cutout.
bridge, the little alcove there.
Yeah,
They do have the best Bloody Marys though. I think out of all Disney, they have like an organic tomato vodka that they use, which
really.
is really really good.
Yeah. I would try that. I like Bloody Mary, so I would definitely give that a run. Um, as I go around, China's good. I've had, what is it? Is it Nine Dragons or
Mm-hmm.
Five Dragons? It's a
Five
Dragons
Dragons one, yeah,
restaurant. I've had dinner there before. Easy. I've had dinner there before, and just super clean, right? Like sometimes it can feel like either oily or greasy or whatever. It Everything felt super fresh and light, and it was really really good. This last trip, actually, I ate there, not at the restaurant, but at the quick service. And Felicia and I both got different kinds of dumplings. Really, really good. I have not seen the show in its entirety back there. I was watching somebody's TikTok live or YouTube live the other day, and they watched it. So I caught like the last 6 minutes. It looked pretty cool. It was just like a surround, like a
yeah,
360 kind of
360
deal.
theater, yeah.
So that was cool. I would do that. Uh, France, I always used to get the creamsicle slushy as well, same as you. I'd skip Ratatouille. I don't like the moving screen rides, as I've said before. Maybe in 2D might be better because that would be more like Mickey's Runaway Railway, which I do enjoy a lot. So I would hit that, cross the little bridge. In the UK, I used to do just Guinness. I didn't do the black and tans, but I would just have Guinness. Some of my favorite shops are in the back half of the UK, and we've sat and listened to the live shows there in the past too. So that's cool. America, by the way, I know I skipped it. I could care less. Um, the barbecue food's not terrible over there. It's it's okay. It's just like any barbecue spot up here. It's not gonna wow me. There's other stuff I would rather try in different countries. So um, yeah, so make UK, hit Canada. I used to get the Ottawa Apple when I was there before, which is their mixed drink. It's super sweet, but it was nice coming after beer in the UK, and usually chips, or usually the fries or something in that area. On the way out, I do the same thing you do. I get back on Spaceship Earth, and then we make our way to always bus stop like 67. It's always
Yeah,
the
it's
furthest.
always the farthest away.
No matter where I'm staying,
Such a
it's always the
pain.
furthest one.
Yeah, and it always leaves when you get there.
Yes. Yeah, it's all you see it pull away as you're near bus stop 10 and you're going to 33. But yeah, I mean, Epcot's there's so much different ways to attack Epcot too, and I don't mean which side of the country you start on, but is it going to be a rides day? Is it going to be a food day? Are you going to be drinking around the world? There's tons of shopping. I think there's more shopping there than any of the other parks, just because of the countries, obviously.
Uh-huh.
But I
Yeah, and
do,
I'll be honest. Oh god.
I say I do miss the old Club Cool though. It's a different element now, but when it was tucked in kind of to the side there with it almost looked like the old 7 Up
Hmm.
guy, like that logo.
Cool spot.
Um, cool spot. Yeah, yeah. So I enjoyed that a lot back in the day, but obviously not there anymore. Not the way it is.
I do miss the old Epcot with the light up floor, light up ground, electric
Mm-hmm.
umbrella, the ambiance, uh, you know,
Intervention.
interventions, which were really cool as a kid. Obviously, it dwindled away as we got older. And first time I ever rode a Segway was in that place, which was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I just miss the whole atmosphere of the old Epcot. It felt very futuristic as a child. I mean, even into my young teens, like it was still that same way, and it was
It
really
was the
cool.
vibe,
And
even if it wasn't super advanced. It was the
yes,
vibe that it was like the Jetsons like
yeah, yeah.
cartoon kind of situation. Yeah.
And then they went to this, I don't know what you want to call it, um, outlet mall style. I mean, some of the stores there are like ridiculous. Like
Large. But yeah,
they're I mean, they have just clothing racks down the middle of the aisleway, and that's all they got. Like, so I don't think much thought went into it. I mean, it could be really cool. The setup of it's nice, like how it's outer, and you got some live music playing and stuff like that, and you got the benches on like the concrete benches around and the gardens and
yes.
stuff. So like that aspect of it's cool.
I like that addition a lot. There was like families hanging out and eating over
Hmm.
there, and
You got the
people just
shade
kind of
things
chilling.
above, yeah.
Yeah.
So like that part of it's cool, but everything else I think you can get away with and or reconfigure it somehow to I don't know, I don't know, not my cup of tea with the new refurb on that end. And the fountain's gone, right? So the one that's
The
out in
big
front of
center fountain, yeah. There's still
yeah,
the smaller one over by Figment,
yeah, but
but not the very huge one that used to go up the water going the wrong way,
yeah, I used
essentially.
to go the wrong way, and then I used to go like it would shoot to music and stuff late at night. Um, the new show was okay at nighttime. I think Illuminations was better. Reflections of Earth. Um, but overall, like I said, it's still by far I think my favorite park. Just as as even more so I get older, my kids don't care for it too much outside of Elsa and Anna and Vince actually really likes Spaceship Earth, which is kind of cool. But they're not old enough to do Test Track or Guardians, so they really liked Soarin' when we went in September, so that was cool.
Yeah. Yeah, James was a fan of I let him pick all the stuff when we did Spaceship
Spaceship,
Earth.
yeah.
He liked that.
They're not tall enough though to get their face on the camera. It's just
So
gotta hold them up.
British and I did this last time. The first round because we went on it twice. The first time my Felicia's picture didn't get taken. So it was me and a headless person. The second time it was Felicia and they put a black character as
Over
me.
top, yeah,
So
yeah,
that was a
yeah.
nice one.
Definitely,
Um,
it was set to go under a big refurb a couple years ago, and it never actually happened. Like they just did like a touch up and fix some of the animatronics, but then it never actually. They were supposed to like redo almost the entire ride.
yeah, I didn't realize that there were 3 different people who have voiced the the narration of it over the years. I
Never
is
neither.
it 3 or it might be 4. The newest one is Judy Dench, Dame Judy Dench. But I think Walter Cronkite might have been the first one. As weird as I mean, but then again, obviously the news was how everyone got info, and he was the biggest name in news.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was someone else in the middle I didn't recognize. But yeah, anyways, little trivia action there. So, all right. Well, so that's the way we'd attack Epcot on the perfect day with not a ton of people, where you can't walk through the countries without rubbing shoulders with everyone. Or in Felicia's case, where she was accosted by a young teenager who grabbed her sunglasses off her face and threw them over the fence towards the lagoon. Um, very, very weird situation. Family was
Shocking.
very, yeah, shocking is a great way to put it. Family was very apologetic, as you can imagine. But so instead of doing a trivia question or something like that for this week, we have how do we call this?
A group text with our
Yeah,
brothers.
yeah. So we have our family group text, and our brother Jordan prompted this question
Which,
in the
yeah.
chat this week.
I saw it on Facebook the other day, and
Oh, did you?
that's kind of why I ignored the text messages. But anyways,
Well, here we are. So in that regard, it is, let's do it for a month. So if you could only stay in one of the countries in Epcot for 1 month, which country would you pick? So that means food, entertainment, sleeping arrangements. You can't walk past the borders of that country while you're there. So, Mitch, why don't you give us your take?
I was really 50-50 between France and the UK.
Mm-hmm.
France specifically because there's an attraction. They do have a sit-down restaurant. It is a larger area.
Mm-hmm.
And you have the cart, you got a restaurant, you got some quick service in the back. UK is kind of what I lean towards, because I do love fish and chips. I could eat fish and chips all the time. I mean, you have a sit down restaurant, you have live music inside, you have the outdoor seating, you can see the fireworks right from there. You got you can kind of see slash hear the live music from the stage in between Canada and the
Well,
UK.
and you have the live music in the back as
Right.
well in the
Yeah.
flower garden. Yeah.
Yep. And then you got all the shops, which I really enjoy. Their tea place, they have some kind of pastries and stuff in there, or snacks or something. It's like a small little case, but outside of that, you got like I said, the flower garden area. So I think UK, and then obviously, big beer guy and Jameson guy myself.
Obviously.
So the UK is probably my go to for that kind of situation.
Yeah, I
Easily,
would
I can easily last 30 days there. I'll sleep in a phone booth if I had to.
easily. No, yeah, you got one of the raunchiest bathrooms in the place, though.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
assume that bathrooms are
valid.
included no matter where we stay.
Now it makes me. I gotta ask George Costanza where to go.
Um, so I was also, UK was in my top two, but I am going to go towards Mexico, uh, and for a couple of reasons. Attraction, like you mentioned with France, um, I could ride that a bunch of times without really. I'm sure the music might wear on me after
Mm.
a bit, but the there's the shopping inside the actual pyramid, which I'm down for. Um, if I was staying there for 30 days, maybe I'm drinking again because you have the
Yeah,
tequila bar.
I mean, you kind of have to, right?
Yeah, you got the tequila bar right there. But you have the restaurant. You have a sit down, full on restaurant within the building. And then you go outside, you have the obviously the margarita cart and whatnot, but then you have the full quick service restaurant immediately out front, which also butts up against the lagoon. And then you have another sit down restaurant inside there as well. So three different places. Granted, it's all the same theme, but three different places to eat. The second one outside, not the quick service that's uncovered, but the other one's a covered place. There's air conditioning, So if it's raining and you want to be outside, and you get the AC, you get it there. Plus, you get it within the
Yeah.
pyramid as well.
I will say the pyramid's probably got the best AC
Mm-hmm.
out of all the countries.
Yes. Well, it's the most enclosed, I think, right? Because you have
Yeah,
not only
because
you
there are
have that
doors
upper
too.
room
Yeah.
that you walk down into the rest of the thing there. So I would say Mexico. and I think Felicia would probably say Mexico too, given her penchant for eating tacos. It's yeah, there's that. But I think I think proximity is there's enough space to move around. You get the little characters that always show up, like Donald in the sombrero is always off
Hmm.
to the side there too. So I think there's enough to break it up. And you could sleep because you figure, okay, it's closed at night, it's dark, whatever. That there you'd be able to find some comfortable spots, I would think, inside the Mexico Pavilion to
I'll catch a
crack
booth in
up.
the restaurant. I'm good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fair enough. I just got to imagine, even if it's a spot on the ride, the Donald Duck ride. There's all those what are they called, ponchos and all that stuff. So I got blankets. I got like a cart full of hay or something. So I think that'd be it for me.
Cool.
Yep.
So there you go,
So
Jordan. Now you can watch our episode to the end and get our
just to,
answers.
to fast forward it.
Oh, I'm sure.
So all right. Well, I think that'll be it for us for this week. Thank you for sticking around to the end. We appreciate it. Remember to like, give us a comment where you'd be happy to be trapped for 30 days in Epcot. Curious to see what else some folks have to say. Appreciate that. All right. You have a great night.
Adios.